So you want to know how to install programs with WinGet? Well, I'm Dr. Borg, and here's how. There are a couple main ways we can go about scripting the install of a program. The first way is using a tool called WinGet. WinGet, or Microsoft Package Manager, acts as an alternative distribution channel for applications. WinGet is typically installed by default on Windows 10 version 1903 and newer, and any version of Windows 11. You can verify by going into your Microsoft Store, searching for App Installer, and then verifying that it says installed. One thing to note, on some Windows 10 devices, the app will be installed but not up to date, and therefore will not function until updated. If this is the case, the app should have a button to prompt the update in the Microsoft Store page. Alternatively, you could check to see if it's installed by opening the command prompt or a PowerShell window and typing WinGet. It returns a screen that looks like this. You know that the program is installed and is ready to be used. If it shows up that the command couldn't be found, then that typically means it's either not installed or it needs to be updated. So now that the what is out of the way, let's get into the how. After you verify that WinGet is installed, to install a program, it's as simple as typing this command into a command prompt or PowerShell window. WinGet, install, then you want to select a program such as Google. You could do Google.Chrome, enter. We'll search to make sure the program is available. Check if you have it installed or not. If it's not installed, it will install it. If it's already installed, it will update the program. Sometimes it will also prompt you to accept the source agreements, in which case you would just have to type Y and hit enter. In this case, it did not. If you want to search for a specific program, you'll use a command like this: git search Google. We'll search through the list of programs and show you anything that has to do with your keyword. So Google, for instance. So, for instance, this Google search netted me a whole lot of options for a bunch of things that have the word Google in the name or in some property of that app. The one that we just installed was this one right here, Google Chrome. Typically, this right here is going to be what you use to actually install the program. You can install it by the name. Typically, the ID is going to be your best bet for making sure you get the right program, however. Alternatively, you could also search for other programs like 7-zip. Give you some lists for 7-zip. To show a list of your currently installed programs, you can do WinGet list. And that will show you all of the programs that you have installed on your computer. So if you want to uninstall a program, you do WinGet uninstall Google.Chrome or whatever program you want to uninstall. We'll go through and remove the program for you. If you want to see a list of the other commands, just type in WinGet and it will show you a list of available commands. You can use the WinGet upgrade feature. Put in the ID of the app you would like to upgrade, and it will search and see if there's an upgrade available for you. Now I'm going to show you a simple script to automate the process of installing apps via the WinGet function. You can either do this in command prompt using a bat script, or you can use it in PowerShell using a PowerShell script. I prefer PowerShell. There's a lot more you can do with it. But the first thing you want to put in your script, it's generally going to be the substance, I guess, of the command that you want to do. So for us, it's going to be WinGet install. We'll use Google again, so we'll use Google.Chrome, and that's going to be the main command. However, there's a couple things we want to add to this for running script that's going to make our lives a little bit easier. Depending on what you are needing the script for, you may or may not need some of these variables. The one I like to use is H, and what that's going to do is run the command silently in the background without any prompts, ideally. The other commands that I like to use are the accept package agreements and accept source agreement. And that will stop it from prompting you to accept those automatically. Now, this is what our basic command is going to look like, and we shouldn't really have to do much else to this for this portion to be functional. There are a couple other things I do like to add into a script that's using WinGet just to make sure that it goes smoothly. Now, this is quite a bit of script, so just bear with me here. This bit of script, actually, I took from a GitHub repository from a guy called Titus Tech. He made this excellent Windows utility tool. It runs in a PowerShell window, got all kinds of functionality. I will drop a link down below in case you guys want to check it out. It is an amazing tool if you're trying to set up a computer or you just need to do some quick program installs or some quick tweaks. Got amazing functionality. But anyway, this is the script here. So essentially what this script does is, one, it validates that Windows is installed. If it's not installed, it will install it. What's really cool about this specific script that he wrote is that it will get the version of your computer, it will get all the information from your computer and install WinGet in a way that makes sense for, you know, what computer you have, whether you have a server or you just have a regular desktop computer, workstation. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest, you probably don't need all this. I've made a simpler version of this and it works just fine. However, this seems to be the most reliable one that I've found or have been able to create myself. So this is the one that I've been using, and it's worked fantastic so far. So with all of these functions and these scripts, this is pretty much all we need to be able to, you know, install a program. Obviously, it kind of requires a lot to just run this simple line of code. Like I said, you don't need all this other stuff, but I like to have it and just kind of makes your life a little bit easier. And it's just one of those things where if you need to duplicate this to do multiple programs, you can either just add more of these with different programs below this, or you can just copy and paste all of this into your other scripts. So then from here, all we got to do is just save this. Save as. I'm going to just name it test script. Okay. And then should be able to open up scripts, go to download. I'm using the Visual Studio Code web because you can link it with GitHub and it just makes it really easy for managing all your files. I write scripts from different computers, so it's just nice having it all in one spot. I don't have to put it on a flash drive or pull it in and out of, you know, a Dropbox or OneDrive or anything like that. It just makes it real nice. So you can just download your script, keep it, obviously. And then when you want to run it, you just right click and hit run with PowerShell. Open. So this screen right here is going to pop up a lot of the time. What it is that by default, most computers are not going to allow you to run scripts. You will have to change, if you want it to not show up all the time, you will have to change the settings that allow scripts to run. You could just not mess with it and then just hit R to run once, it'll run the script. Here we go, it runs in the background. Now if we go back over to our PowerShell window, so if we want to check and see if it's installed now, we can just do WINGET list and look through our list and see if we have Google Chrome installed, which it appears it is. So we know that the script worked. Perfect. So if you want to allow the script to run, then another thing you can add to your script is something that looks like this here. And what this is going to do is set your execution policy, what allows the script to run or not. It's going to set it to bypass, which means that this script will just go right on through and not be prompted. One more piece of code I like to add into all of my scripts that download anything from the internet is this here. This here is going to turn the progress bar off to make the script run faster. So for WinGet commands, this really may not make that much of a difference. But for the one that I'm going to show you in the next video, it's going to make a huge difference. We'll be downloading links or files directly from websites, and the difference it can make in downloading with the progress bar and without a progress bar is astronomical. For instance, what we'll see in the next video is it can cut the time in half or less, depending on how big the file is. But I like to throw it in there. It's real simple code, and it can make a world of difference on some things, and it doesn't hurt for something like this script that's ideally going to be run in the background and nobody's going to see it anyway. It could just help it install just a little bit faster. But anyways, that's going to be all for the day. I'm going to leave a link to this script, or I'm going to leave a copy of the script so you guys can use it as you need to. It's just a fantastic way to be able to install stuff. So until next time, I'm Dr. Borg, and get out there, get scripting, get coding, learn a language, do something. I don't know. It's good to be versed in a wide variety of programming languages. I'm not. I'm still learning. Learn every day. That's all we can do, really. But until next time.